Hello, and welcome to another episode of Untraditionally Traditional, a podcast with me, Brittany Duncan, a millennial homemaker. Join me each week as I share all the things I've learned that make keeping your home, garden, and life running smoothly, all while working. If you are enjoying the podcast, please be sure to subscribe in your favorite podcasting app so you get the episodes downloaded straight to you every Monday. Now, on to today's episode. Hello, and welcome back to Untraditionally Traditional, a millennial homemaker podcast. For my regular listeners, I apologize for not having this episode to you last Monday. September is a busy season for many of us, and last week the podcast was simply the thing that had to give. But I'm back, ready to tackle the week and ready to tackle preparing the inside of our home for fall. If you missed it, the last episode was part 1 of this 2-part series on preparing your home for fall, inside and out. Last week, we covered the outdoor projects with the hope that you can tackle those while it's still a pleasure to be outdoors. And today, we're going to talk about what my husband Johnson and I are doing indoors to get ready for the transition from summer to fall. For me, the preparation is a lot about a deep clean before the windows and doors are sealed tight to keep the heat in, and also about making sure that all equipment and home systems are properly maintained to function at their highest all through the fall and winter. When it comes to cleaning, there are a few must-dos that I have on our list, the first being to steam clean our sofa. We do this at the end of summer and early fall so that we are starting the season with a clean sofa, but also because it helps the sofa to dry after cleaning it much more quickly if we can open some of those windows. We use the Hoover Spotless carpet and upholstery cleaner, and it's wonderful. I know that Bissell makes one that's really similar called, I think it's called the Little Green Machine. But using this device, you would not believe how much dirt and ick comes off of your sofa when you use the magical device. I'll preface, our sectional does not have a slip cover, which is why steam cleaning regularly for us is really important. We used to have a slip cover sofa, and we would try to wash that cover every 2 months or so to avoid staining and wearing of the fabric. When you wash and dry your slip cover, the weave gets cleaned and then it tightens again, which keeps everything in tip-top shape. But yeah, now we use the steam cleaner and it's wonderful. On the same theme is to take inventory of your linens, towels, bedding. How are your sheets looking? If your whites are less than white, it's probably time to replace your sheets. If your towels have stains or tears or they're not feeling so soft on your skin, it might be time to consider swapping those out as well. Old towels are great for rags, or you can donate them to your local animal shelter. You would not believe how many blankets and towels humane societies go through in a week. Most have big industrial washer systems that they use to reuse and reuse the donated items until they are truly falling apart. For your bedding, you might consider adding a warmer layer to your bed for those colder months as well to stay nice and warm and toasty in bed. When we bought our home and we were setting up our bedroom, we made the decision to make our bed a sanctuary. Sleep is incredibly important. The pajamas you wear, the sheets you sleep in, how you feel about your bed, all of that plays no small role in the quality of your sleep. Personally, I make a point to wear pajamas I feel good in, preferably a matching set. You deserve better than your Christmas pajama bottoms worn in September and an old t-shirt you got at a 5K run 7 years ago. I was there. That's why I'm using those examples. But I like to sleep in soft, clean sheets, lots of pillows, my matching pajamas. Our bedding is a neutral pattern that's calming to look at and sleep in. All of those small decisions add up to the big decision to make the quality of sleep a priority. Temperature is important when you are sleeping, but also important throughout the whole home. We talked about your HVAC system on the last episode, but if you have ceiling fans, you should switch the rotational direction so that rather than the warm air being sucked up, it is being pushed back down into the room so that you're not losing all of that heat. Along with that, go around and clean your vents. With ours, some of them get really dirty, so we actually take them down, soak them in warm water, and dish soap for 10 minutes, and then give them a good scrub, dry them, put them back up. But make sure your intake vents are free and clear. It helps to keep everything running smoothly. And if you're like me, removing as much dirt and dust also really helps with allergies, which is huge when all of your windows and doors are sealed and you're breathing in the air from your system. I opt for clean air and try to avoid that stale air smell at all costs. Speaking of vents, cleaning out your dryer vent is really important. When I met Johnson, he was a fireman, and fire safety is taken really seriously in our home. When you clean out your dryer vent, the actual tubing that runs from the back of your dryer to the outside of your home, you'll be shocked what comes out of there, even if you're cleaning the lint trap between every single load. They make cleaning kits for this, although Johnson and I just saw this genius idea that we're going to try out this season. We'll let you know how it goes. But essentially you take a leaf blower and you connect it to the tubing where the dryer would normally connect, and you blow everything out through the tubing to the outside of your home. Caveat with this, if you do it, make sure you're using an electric blower or that you have really good ventilation in that room so you're not breathing in the fumes from a gas blower. But anyway, we're excited to try it. I'll probably put it up on Instagram at Untraditionally Traditional Pod to let you all know if it works or not. So we'll see. If you have a wood burning fireplace, fall is the season, and ideally early fall, to get your chimney swept and inspected. Again, fire safety, y'all. Your home is likely your biggest asset, and fire damage is unimaginable. In the best case scenario, only your home is affected and not your life, your loved one's lives, or your fur babies. It's always worth erring on the side of caution and paying the money to have your chimney taken care of by professionals that know what to look for and are trained to do the inspection and cleaning properly. Again, don't mean to keep ranting about fire safety, but the last step that Johnson and I like to take in the fall is to ensure that all of our smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors are working properly and have adequate battery power. Again, these small things really do save lives. Check your smoke detectors. If you have a fire extinguisher, or really you should have multiple throughout your home, check their expiration dates, the pressure gauges to make sure that they're in good shape, they're in that green zone. Watch a YouTube video with your family on how to actually use the fire extinguisher, or go to your local fire station for a lesson. It's really important to know how to use them, what kind of fires you can use it on, where you should point it, what kind of fires you can use water on and shouldn't. All of these things you want to do so that when a fire happens, you don't panic. You know, there's a reason we do fire drills in grade school, because practice makes perfect, and it helps us not to freeze from panic when a scary situation like a house fire presents. Okay. Enough about that. Rant about fire safety over. Last week, I mentioned giving the outside of your windows and the window tracks a thorough cleaning, and now you're going to take that third step and use a glass cleaner on the inside of all your windows. Let that beautiful daylight flow into your home. I also like to go around the house with a Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and hit all those smudge marks and dirty areas on the walls. Door frames, light switch covers, walls in the kitchen, fronts of cabinets. Those are all really heavy areas that clean up beautifully with a magic eraser. So I try to do that every couple months, but ideally between seasons is a great, mile marker throughout the year to just make sure you're keeping up with it. Once you've got your home back to a solid, clean base, you are ready to switch its contents to fall, which is always really exciting for the homemaker. First, I go through my closet, I put all my summer clothing away, and I build my fall wardrobe capsule. If you missed it, I recorded an episode a few weeks ago about building and using a capsule wardrobe, and for me, the fall capsule is one of my favorites. I'm a sucker for neutrals in general, so the fall closet is really my time to shine. I also love changing the decor in our home for fall. Nothing crazy, but small changes that switch the fresh vibe we aim for in summer to the cozy vibe we aim for in fall. I'll tell you this, visit your antique and junk shops and pick up some quality pieces that make you think fall. Use natural foliage from around your property. Please try and avoid the Home Goods and Target crap that is going to break. It's going to end up in next year's garage sale. I know it's not the popular opinion. Believe me, I love Target and Magnolia Home as much as the next person, but there's got to be a limit to the plastic, fake, made in China items we spend money on to use for a single season. Not only do I love the hunt of visiting antique and thrift and junk shops and garage sales, but it also brings me immense joy to bring new life to old things. The patina that comes from something truly vintage cannot be matched by farmhouse style or antique replicas found at the Target dollar spot. You and your home, they deserve better. So, try to think about what you can do that's different. It also gives you that really unique vibe. When you find something that's a one-of-a-kind piece at an antique shop and decorate with it, you're not going to have the same everything from Target that your neighbors have. Anyway, happy cleaning, happy decorating, most of all, happy almost fall. Follow me at Untraditionally Traditional Pod on Instagram and tag me to show me how you're cleaning inside and out and also decorating for fall. If you are enjoying the podcast, I would absolutely love it if you took a few minutes to rate and review the show wherever you are listening. All right, have a great week, everybody. Thank you for listening to this episode of Untraditionally Traditional. If you enjoy the podcast, please share it with those special people who would love it too, and write a review. For more tips and photos of my home and garden, follow Untraditionally Traditional Pod on Instagram. Until next week, let's continue to make our homes places of joy and service to ourselves and those we share them with.